Jayden, what's it been like being a rising senior, being one of the more experienced players on the team going into this spring camp, and also knowing that this is the last spring camp for you?
Yeah, it's definitely been surreal. Just knowing that my football time is like coming to an end, and I just enjoyed being around the guys still. Hoping that I can just teach a lot of the young guys like stuff that I learned going throughout the spring for my past 2 springs. So I've just been focused on trying to help others get better, and still pick up on the new offense that was put in.
And how's that going, picking up the new offense, and what do you like about it?
The new offense is very difficult to just like put in practice when you're going from the triple, which was more under center and a lot of run blocking, to now we're doing a lot more pass concepts, a lot of new terminology. So just a lot of memorization and getting used to the new style of play. And I really like it though. I think the multi, running and passing, and then spreading the offense out, and then running dives. I think it can help, and it complements each other, especially when you have a team that can run a triple and then open up into the gun. Could like lead to a lot of big plays.
With having a new offensive coordinator, has it helped having the same position coach and Coach Yokitis that you're comfortable with and familiar with?
Yeah, so having Coach Yo, it's definitely a help, because although the play changes, like he's still like keeping the culture that he had even when Coach Nehemiah was here. So with the culture we have, and then with the new playbook, I think it's like a good combo, because we kind of have like that relentless mindset, and then tagging it along with like the new offense, it can be pretty lethal.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Scott.
Wags.
Jayden, you've missed some time this spring, correct?
Yes, sir.
But you've gotten back to how many live practices have you been able to do? Have you been full go for any of it?
So I've been doing mostly like individual stuff, and a lot of like the non-contact stuff. So I've still been able to pick up on the offense and, run routes, and still do like, team unit, but like a lot of the team interaction stuff I haven't been doing.
So you still feel it's been a productive spring, even though you maybe haven't been full contact?
Yeah, I think I made a lot of strides as far as, where I was at before spring ball, even until now. Like I feel pretty full speed, and I was able to still study my playbook, and when I'm out there, I just get a lot of mental reps, and make sure when I do get reps that like I'm fully dialed in and know what I'm doing.
So who are some of the receivers that, I was out at the scrimmage or the practice that was held at the stadium, and Croy Myers had that nice long touchdown pass. I think Croy's had a good spring. But who would you say some of the younger receivers who maybe were not proven, who is stepping up in the spring?
Yeah, so even just besides like the younger receivers, but just the receivers in general, another senior wide receiver, Kamari Williams, he stepped up a lot, especially like to where he started at to where he's at now. Like he's proved himself as a leader on the team and somebody that can make like a lot of big plays and catches. And then of course Croy, like very fast guy, very athletic. And he still can like, throw it up there in like the run game. Then we have like another a rising junior, Regis Velez. He's a tall guy, lengthy, and he's pretty strong. He's been like making a lot of plays in like the pass game, and he can be a good blocker to have like for the bigger outside linebackers. And then we still have like other wide receivers like Nathan Kent, who's in track right now. He's a fast guy. There's Cody Howard. He's a guy that's going to surprise a lot of people in the fall. So there's a lot of even the whole receiver really has the like opportunity to play. I think everybody will, because that's how like Coach Joe, he approaches it. Like everybody has to know what they're doing, because like it's happened before where your number will get called, and like you gotta be ready for it. So
You mentioned Nathan Kent. Has he been able to do any spring practice?
no, he hasn't. He's been in track season. So,
Right.
but he's been at like a lot of the meetings, and he knows what's going on with the offense. So, yeah.
So without giving away state secrets, do you feel like the receivers will be utilized a little bit differently? Do you think there'll be more opportunities to catch the ball with the new offense Coach Chestnut is putting in?
Yes, I think a lot of people will be surprised with how the receivers are used this fall. It's a totally different approach than what I'm used to and what I'm sure a lot of other receivers are used to while they've been here. So it'll definitely be a lot more like hands-on with, the balls in our hand and a lot of different type of blocking. So it'll be good.
But you'll still be blocking is going to be still the most important thing you do, right?
Right. Yeah. Blocking is number one. If you can't block, you really shouldn't even be worried about getting the ball. So that's always the number one priority is, making sure even on run plays that, we're doing specific things so that the ball carriers can, get past us and score and get a lot of yards.
That's good for me for now.
Dylan.
Jayden, it was about this time 2 years ago that you made the switch to receiver, and now you're, one of the top guys at that position. I know you played it a little bit in high school, but can you talk about your development learning this position at this level and now going through a new offense?
Yeah, so I played a little bit of receiver in high school, but it's definitely like a different type of receiver, like playing at Navy, especially under Coach Nehemiah. And when he was coach, like I blocked a lot more, blocked a lot of big linebackers, and we just had like a different offense. So like the transition at first was, bringing that physicality like every play. And then also just, being able to make those big plays when you had to, because if you're blocking so much, you don't get that many opportunities to catch the ball. So I had to, learn when those big moments came to just kind of seize them. And then all the way up until now, like a lot of the little nuances of just, stances and certain ways you got to break off your route. Like it's still like an everyday process and still learning about certain ways to make your routes look the same every time so you could get open. So it's been still like a steep learning curve, but I think every day I'm able to like sharpen my tool like in different ways, and I get to like learn from other receivers, and I watch a lot of film, so it helps.
New coaching staff and some shuffling at the quarterback position, especially early on in the spring with some new guys getting experience. What has it been like for you getting to work with some of those new guys, getting reps for the first time, or a lot of reps at the first time at that?
Yeah, the young quarterbacks there, they're definitely talented. They bring a little different style of play than I'm used to with like Ty, where Ty was mainly a thrower, and like these guys can run and throw. Not that Ty couldn't, but these guys are pretty athletic, and it has like that ability for like, when you're a receiver, you gotta know when to get open if a guy's on the run trying to scramble. So they're just very dynamic, and it's going to be very helpful to get like a lot of reps with them in the summer, so that when it comes time for fall, it's like pretty natural.
I'm sure you're pretty used to going up against guys in defense every day, and you're looking forward to seeing some new faces, some new helmets out there on the field. But who are some guys on the defense that fans should get used to hearing about this fall?
Yeah. So I mean, definitely Brown Lane. He's all over the place. He's a missile on the field. You got Will Harbor, who's leader of the defense. He always puts them feel like where they need to be, including like Avon, other safety who tough guy, and he's always around the ball. And I mean, really the whole interior defensive line. You got like, Biscuit will be coming back down a burn yard, that is. And then you got like, there's some other young guys that I've seen on the field, like Landon, who's in the place of Donald right now. And you got Jacob Busick. So, I mean, the defense is really loaded, and they provide like a challenge for us every day, which is why I don't think we'll have no problem putting up a lot of points when it comes down to the fall, because, you know, the defense and like the defensive coordinators, they have like provided like a lot of challenges for us to like work through. And I think that'll help us like going into the fall, uh, seeing all those different types of things thrown at us. It'll be easy when, you know, there's going to be defenses that are playing one coverage, one defense the whole game.
That's all for me. Thank you.
All right, we'll go back around the horn. Scott Wyckoff.
Yeah, Jayden, what do you like best about Coach Chestnut and what he brings as an offensive coordinator? Watching practice, he seems really involved. Yesterday, one of your teammates caught a bomb down the sidelines, and I think Coach was the first one to get down there to hug him.
Yeah, he's definitely an intense guy. I think I saw him the past 2 weekends here on like Saturday and Sunday nights, and I was caught there wondering, like, you know, where, like, does he have anything else to be doing? But now he really cares a lot about us, and he cares about our growth as players and even as people more so. So being around him, I can tell he's really here to just make sure we're reaching our full potential, and he'll tell us every day, like, you know, what he really thinks. He's not going to sugarcoat anything. And I'm just excited to keep working with him. And the young guys are, you know, lucky to have like a coach like him.
And how excited are you to come back for fall practice, knowing that you're going to be one of the leaders on offense, but also knowing that there's light at the end of the tunnel, and this journey is you can see kind of an end to it, but also being comfortable with where you are as a senior at the academy?
Yeah, it's thinking about it now. You don't ever want football to really be over, even with all like the downs. There's still a lot of ups. So I'm really excited. I'm putting my all in. You know, from now wherever it started till the end. So I'm just happy to just keep playing with my team and maximizing my potential as a Navy football player. And I'm really looking forward to even going into like lift today, just like being there with everybody and just enjoying those moments, because, you know, they don't last forever, but I'll always remember them. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wags.
So Jayden, what's the biggest thing you want to improve upon going into your senior year?
I think the biggest thing I want to improve upon is not even necessarily like my play style and my play, because, you know, I come into practice every day like trying to get better, and I think I lay it all out there on the field. But I think I just want to be like a better leader on the team, and just making people feel like they can trust me, to where if there's like decisions that have nothing to do with football, that they can come to me, you know, on the weekends if they're having trouble with something. So I just want to, you know, continue to just be a better leader for my team and even for my peers around me. And I think that helps, because people kind of will model that and try to shape that, and you know, look up to that, and hopefully they can use it to be a leader themselves. So yeah.
Obviously, change is difficult, but do you think in some ways that there's been some new energy infused into the program with the new coaching staff, bringing new ideas, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think from day one, when the strength coach was introduced and he was working with us, like, he was intense from the start. And I think that brought a lot of energy. You know, the previous staff, I mean, it was intense, but it wasn't like how it was now. Like every day you're expected to have, you know, high energy, high motivation, no matter what you got going on in the hall, if you had a test or anything. So I think because the coaching staff, they bring it every day, it allows for us to kind of feed off their energy. And then Coach Newberry talks a lot about like external and internal motivation, how, you know, we're like, there's always going to be a lot of external motivation from the coaches and from everybody else, but trying to find it like within ourselves, so that can be infectious for others on the team. So, and it's been a lot of that throughout the spring and winter workouts. So it's been like really enjoyable.
We've heard some good things about Teddy Gleaton, and when I've been out there, he throws a nice ball. What do What do you think about how Teddy and the other young quarterbacks are coming along?
Yeah, he's definitely got an arm on him. He can put the ball in the right places when he needs to be. He just needs to be more consistent, and you can expect that from younger guys. I remember when I played quarterback, you have a great day one day, and then the next day just be terrible. So if he can just stay consistent, he'll be fine. I think he's a really good quarterback, and he can make the right decisions when it needs to be. And staying with Blake Horvath, like, he's a really athletic guy, really fast. He's ran the triple before. If he continues just be confident and even be confident more in his arm, he'll be another great quarterback. So it'll be fun to see who can, win the starting job between them. And I know whoever it will be, it'll be the best guy, and then there will be an even better backup. So it's going to be cool to see who's named the starter.
Tell us how the spring has been for the wide receiver core. Has been productive.
Yeah, it's been a good spring. The only downside is Nathan Kent's running track, and Jayden Umbarger hasn't done a ton this spring. So those are two guys we're hoping to count on this fall that weren't with us. So that's good and bad. I've seen those guys. They need to work, but everybody else has got a lot more work because of it. So a lot of other guys have gotten valuable reps.
What has been the impact of the new offense and some of the things that Coach Chestnut has brought in as far as the wide receiver core?
So we're doing a lot of different things, which is exciting for the guys. I always look at change as a good thing. I know some people don't look at it that way, but so we got a lot of different things going in, and it's exciting stuff for the wide receivers. So the guys have embraced it. They're working really, really hard to master the stuff that Coach Chestnut wants them to master.
Any young guys or maybe even some returning guys that maybe did not play a whole lot last year who have caught your attention and shown they've been consistent in the spring?
Like I said, a lot of guys have gotten a lot of reps, which is good. I think early on we were trying to figure out, some of the nuances of what we're doing. And I think the last few practices, guys are starting to understand, how we want them to practice the different things. And there's quite a few guys that I'm excited about moving forward.
All right, I'll pass it along.
Scott Wyckoff.
Yeah, Coach, what do you like best about this unit? Kind of the mix you have between veteran players and younger players.
Yeah, as always, I think our room's really tight. We try to be a family in the wide receiver room, and we always have. And I think we have that going for us, which to me, that's first and foremost. We got guys that are tough, hard-nosed football players that love each other, that I think love playing football, which is good. And you're right, we got a mix. We got some older guys, some younger guys. I think they've meshed together well. I think they're working their butts off. I think they want to be really, really good. Are they there yet? No, but I think they're coming along.
Also, from watching practice, you have a lot of speed and some really good hands, but I know really the emphasis always for you is putting that together with the blocking. How has that been working out, the physicality of this group? Because I know Coach Chestnut's really emphasized the physicality in your practices.
Yeah, he has. He's brought that with him, which is great. That's something I've always hung my hat on my whole time as a player here, as a coach. If you're going to play wide receiver for me since I've been here, you're going to be physical. You're going to block. You're going to do that part of it. And I think Coach Chestnut has really taken it to another level, which has been great. I think the guys have embraced it. We've hit more and done some things. And you're starting to see guys, that maybe hadn't hit as much, starting to like contact a little bit more, which I just saw that last practice out of Corey Myers, for example, which was good to see.
And how's been the competitive nature of your practices? I know without a spring game, but it seems like in each practice, you guys have a little game in itself, and it does get quite competitive.
Yeah, it's been a little chippy out there at times, which, as a coach, you kind of like that to an extent. Obviously, you're not trying to hurt anybody. I'm not saying that by all means, but there's only one way to get better, in my personal opinion. You got to compete. And sometimes when you're competing, tempers flare up and things happen. You just got to be able to control it. And I think we've done a pretty good job this spring of keeping it under control. Kamari got a silly penalty at the last practice, kind of lost his cool a little bit, going over the top. And those things can't happen. But as far as the competitive nature of practice, the hitting, the physicality, I've really, really enjoyed it.
when you look at this team and the nature of what they do, is the biggest thing in the change the terminology, especially for the receivers, the terminology that comes with the new offense?
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff. So the terminology is different. The way we're doing things are different. So you're learning a new playbook, and then you're throwing a new terminology. So it's been a lot. I mean, it's been a lot for myself to learn just the different things. But again, I think it's been good. You know, sometimes refreshing, sometimes change is refreshing. You get to do different things. So I think the guys have really embraced it and enjoyed getting to learn something new.
And have you found it also helpful that you're a familiar voice that's come along with the change that's maybe helped them through it?
I'd like to say so. I guess you need to ask those guys what they think about that. But like I said, we have a good group. I love those guys. I think they enjoy playing for me, but who knows what they'll say to that question? I guess you have to ask them.
Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.
All right, back to Wags.
So apparently, I know Nathan is involved with track and field, but Jayden indicated that he comes to meetings. I mean, if you feel like you'd at least been able to help him learn the new offense, keep him up to date.
Yeah, they both come to meetings, which is a good thing about track and field. You know, they don't have to meet on stuff. They just go out there and run and compete and practice. So Nathan's been to probably 90% of our meetings, which is good. So he's taking really good notes. I ask him a lot of questions when he's in the meetings. So that's been good. And then Jay's been out every practice, and he's done enough to where at least he's seen it now and gotten to rep it. He just hadn't anything full speed, you know, individual. He's to do individual with us in certain things. So hopefully that'll help him out a little bit when we get back this fall.
Two guys that have gotten a lot of reps at your position that, you know, when I've come out to practice, I've seen do a few good things are Croy Myers and Kamari. Can you talk about what they've done, Kamari Williams and Croy?
Yeah, they both got a ton of reps. They're running with the ones right now. I think Kamari's been a really good leader for us, which he's a senior now, and that's going to be asking him to lead the younger guys. And the way you lead in our room is by your effort. You know, the things that you can control. You know, you're going to work your butt off. You're going to be a good teammate. You're going to help guys out, and I think Kamari's really embraced that role. I couldn't be more happy with what he's done as far as that said. And then Croy, still a young guy. He's been a little bit inconsistent at times. I thought he had a really good last practice, which was good to see. We challenged him on some things. And he's embraced it because he wants to play. He wants to be great. So that was encouraging to see. But he's taking advantage of the reps because he's gotten more reps this spring than he's ever gotten in his career here.
But just any freshmen that really took a jump this spring, guys that they were on scout team, weren't over with varsity, and now all of a sudden you're looking and saying, hey, they might be able to help us even if they're on special teams.
Yeah, obviously Kent's the one that got to play a little bit for us. He's out. Then Cody Howard, he got nicked up a little bit, so he got to do. I think he got through 6 or 7 practices. Then he got hurt. I think it was 6 actually. But he flashed. He did some things in those practices that excited us. And he'll be back, so it's not like it's injury that's gonna keep him out for a season. I think he just got nicked up a little bit. He'll be back this summer. We'll go working out, running, and ready to go. But I'm excited to see him this fall camp, to see a little bit more of him.
All right, thanks, Mick.
Oh, you're welcome.
Scott Wyckoff.
Back to Croy, Coach. When you see a player like that develop, is there sometimes as they come along, and then it seems to flip the switch and they get it and things all seem to come together?
Scott, you're exactly right. Some guys, the switch turns on a little bit quicker than others. And that's your job as a coach to keep coaching them and see what makes them tick and see how you can get them to that spot. And I'm hoping, like I said, I was really happy with Croy after last practice. So hopefully we can build on that. I know we have one more left. But stack that, get a little confidence going into the off season. But it was good to see what Croy did yesterday.
Once the spring practices are over, what do you like your receivers to do between then and when you get back together for fall practice?
Yes, we'll give them a lot of ball drills and different things to do with the quarterbacks. we'll give them all kind of stuff to do, and you put a lot of it on them because we have to go out recruiting, so you're not there to be with them while they're doing it. But that's the great thing here. We trust our players. When you give them something to do, they're going to go do it. Then ultimately the most important thing will be with Coach K and his staff in the weight room, and getting bigger, stronger, faster. So the guys I know are excited about getting in there full time again and getting bigger, stronger, faster, letting their bodies recover. It's been a grueling spring. We've hit a lot, so I know guys are beat up and they're hurt, they're banged up. So it'll be good for them to get to the off season and do stuff we don't have to do the banging.
What's it been like for you since really the change of coaching to be around this staff, to kind of pick the brains of these coaches that have so many different experiences with an offense that's looking at a number of position coaches who have been offensive coordinators and really bring a lot to the table?
Yeah, we have a lot of really, really good football coaches in the offensive staff room that you get to sit around with, and we spend a lot of time together. You sit in the room together for hours and hours and hours. So it's been neat for me to listen to the way other people think. We have the base. I think everybody in general thinks the same way, but just a little tweak here. Oh, we did it this way. Or here's how I see that. Where I've been around some guys for my whole career where I knew how they thought. So it's been really fun to learn from other guys.
And finally, are they learning from you too about the culture of not only the academy, but also of what it's like to be a midshipman athlete, and how you interact with coaches and how you can give them advice on that?
Yeah. They do ask questions about the academy. They're eager to learn, about the ins and outs of what is it really like to go to school? What does a day look like? So I'm trying to help them out with understanding that. They're all really, really sharp guys, and I think they're picking it up.
And what's it like having Coach Newberry with you on the other side of the football for practice?
Yeah, it's been great. I've since Coach Newberry got here in 2019, I was really fond of him then, and I really enjoy him now as a head football coach. He's a great man, as we all know in this room. I thought that from day one when I met him, and he's been the same guy. Some guys get tired. They say it gets to their head. Coach Newberry is the same person as he was when I met him in 2019. I love the man. Super appreciative that I still have a job here at the Naval Academy, that he kept me on staff.
Thanks a lot. Good luck.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone have anything else?
One more for me, Mick. With the creation of the tight end position, it kind of changes things for some of the wide receivers. You used to have, use some of your bigger wide receivers to flex and go in and play, in that double flex formation, go in and play closer to the line of scrimmage. How's that changing things for the wide receiver position? And, are there some guys that were the bigger wide receivers that are going to become tight ends?
Yeah, that we're going to ask our wideouts to be able to do all the same stuff that we always have. As far as when you say flex and getting down into those formations, but now there may be times where we just put a bigger body in there, tight end, to do it. But we're still going to ask them to be able to do it. They still have to know how to do all those things. But it will be a little bit different. So we'll have some different stuff. Coach Chestnut's got some great ideas, and that's stuff that he's bringing with him from Kennesaw.